President Trump spent the day in Utah, where he's promising to shrink the size of 2 national monuments. As expected, environmentalists are not thrilled. Matheson is president of the Sutherland Institute, and he approves of today's announcement, but says actually this conversation is not over yet. Welcome, Boyd. Good to see you tonight.
Good to see you, Shannon.
Okay, so the president has said these are too big. They need to be shrunken down a little bit, and that was not received well by a lot of folks. I want to read you something from Patagonia. The president basically said, in an illegal move, the president just reduced the size of Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante National Monuments. This is the largest elimination of protected land in American history. And by the way, they said they're going to go ahead and sue over this.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is, this is obviously some wealthy environmentalists, and we really feel here in the state of Utah that a wealthy man's playground should never come at the expense of a working person's family and their lives and livelihood. And so there's precedent for this over the years. Presidents from both political parties have abused the Antiquities Act. The Antiquities Act is supposed to use the smallest area possible to protect the antiquity or the sacred spot. Doing millions of acres is hardly the proper use of the Antiquities Act. So today was a good day for Utah. It was a good day that the president listened to the little guy, to the people who live in these rural counties who've really been hurt by this or who would be hurt by these kinds of big swaths of national monuments.
Yeah, and explain how that works, because, I didn't really understand until I heard from some of these people about what it meant to them, their tax base, their livelihood, when this land is taken out of potential use.
Yeah, many people east of Utah don't really understand what public lands mean. 2/3 of the land in Utah is controlled by the federal government. Can't tax it, can't develop it, and so that's a real problem. And especially these rural counties, it's hard for them to fund education. There's a lot of uncertainty with these big lands. Grazing goes down with these big national monuments. Ranchers are hurt, farmers are hurt. The local Navajo tribes are really hurt because they're not able to access these lands, which they use not only for their wood to heat their homes and gathering herbs and berries and doing their spiritual traditions there on the mountain. So it's an important day. This was critical. We got involved in this whole process because those voices weren't being heard. The big Patagonias of the world were loud, well-funded, and the president listened, just as he did during the campaign, to the forgotten men and women, especially in these rural counties.
Well, we're going to watch as Patagonia and others are planning legal action. I know a lot of it will depend on the judges and the courts they get these assigned to. And we'll see how far up the chain it goes, because it's no surprise when the president takes steps that are unpopular, they almost immediately end up, in court. So we'll watch it. Boyd Matheson, thank you very much. Good to see you tonight.
Thanks, Shannon.
Coming up.